Hey guys, and welcome back to another video here. Today we are doing What If Deku Had a Dragon Type Quirk Part 7. And in the last part we pretty much left off with Deku and... I forgot his name now. I'm remembering stuff from from other animes, I think. Dang it. Well, the half heart, half cold boy. The one with the half heart, half cold quack. Him and Deku's fight. We left off halfway through that, and well, yeah. So, I've read your comments or comment. One person posted twice, so yes. Anyway, I read it and I'll say the two differences between Night Furies and Light Furies is Night Furies are like, say, the colour spectrum if you're not colourblind. Yeah, so if you're not colourblind, so blind to certain types of colours, or can literally only see, white and black and grey, because depending on how much light reaches your eye will give you the variance. So yes. Anyway, but yeah. So imagine from from the start of the colour spectrum to the end of the colour spectrum that we can see. All those variants, but they're, like dark variants, so like dark green, because Deku is a dark green. Night Fury, because Night Fury's been, a dark one, and therefore also need lightning to go invisible, because summon lightning to go invisible, pretty much. Whereas Light Furies use their plasma blast to heat up their scales, which turn them invisible instead. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so Hiccup's pretty much just a green Light Fury. So he's a dark green. And the Dragon Hero, one person has said Light Furies, but I will still let you guys decide on light or night. But pretty much, of course, Light Furies will be the bright variants of the colours that we can make out. So you guys can decide. She could be a grey Light Fury. She can literally be a literal Light Fury, meaning, straight from how to train your dragon and being the white. Or you can make you guys can say, how about the opposite variant of what Deku is, which would just be a lime green, a light lime green, or whatever the opposite colour of green is, which I have no idea. Or notice on the colour wheel 180 degrees from dark green. But yeah, anyway, let's get into what if. So we pretty much left off with those two, of course, as an explosion ripped off, which was the half hot, half cold guy, pretty much using his eyesight to rapidly freeze the air, and then thanks to Deku provoking him, and then using his fire side to rapidly, pretty much almost instantaneously heat up the air, causing a pretty much rapid rise in temperature, so a massive pretty much explosion, or air itself was travelling faster than the speed of sound, which caused a massive explosion. Well, yeah, that's pretty much what his particles trying to reach up faster than, the speed of sound, so they break the sound barrier itself. So yeah, which ripped away pretty much the entire stadium. So the only people that were there was All Might. Mind you, All Might doesn't have one for all. No, he does have one for all, I meant. The Dragon Hero, which pretty much, yeah. Well, yeah. Anyway, she will well, I don't know, I guess in an upcoming part, she will get her her full Night Fury transformation. Well, not Night Fury, but Fury, so the Light or Night Fury transformation. Whatever you guys do agree with in the comments down below. Yeah, so for now, she's pretty much she's in canon, but she's all grey instead of any skin colour. That's pretty much what her half transformation looks like, or her imperfected dragon transformation, which, yeah. Well, yeah. But mind you guys, as we are 7 parts in, and I'm rambling about stuff that was really, well, kind of is important now, because we're 7 parts in. If you are just watching this, like, from, just, saw this, sounds interesting, and start to watch it, please, well, there is a link in the description down below for the playlist for the, for the entire, of every part, and of course if you watch all the way through, then there's an end card at the end. That one will be what YouTube recommends for you, the other one will be the playlist, and then I don't know what the other one is, because I've got 3 playlists. One is the playlist of whatever part or episode, video is located in, unless it's just a random video, then it doesn't have a playlist. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that. The one that YouTube recommends and something else, I can't remember. Oh well. If I can't remember it, it's probably not important. Yeah, anyway. Yeah. And let's get back on track. Yeah, so and Endeavour watching his son. Well, he's pretty much perfect child, which can use half hot, half cold. Yeah. And yeah, so pretty much the entire stadium gets blown away. Everyone, all the spectators and that, pretty much outside Midnight and Cementos pretty much, ran also outside after everyone else. So Cementos pretty much built a very thick wall, like a 360-degree wall around the pretty much building, and he also focused a lot of his might into keeping the ring intact, so that if there was any outs, they would know. Yeah. And of course they just hear that explosion just go off. They see from outside a black pillar of ice to all of a sudden flame and then plasma, which of course flame first, then after a second of it catching, of pretty much physics going, oh wait, we just got rapidly heated up, we're meant to go up now, yeah, let's do that, and then plasma as the explosion happens then. Yeah, and pretty much all, of course, well, it does throw, I'm trying to remember his name, but it does throw him backwards, and all you hear, into the wall is a thump, which is, they first hear a thump, which is, they would hear 2 thumps, which is Endeavour and the Dragon Hero, and then all of a sudden they just, hear a massive, they just hear a massive bang, and it's pretty much All Might, which went, because he got closer to them, he would, at the last seconds, he would try and, go calm down, this is going well too far, and then boom, that happened, and then, of because he was so close, he pretty much picked up the most speed and got shot right through the concrete wall. And it's like a good 20, 30, 40, like, yeah. Well, no, 30 centimeters is not that thick. I'd say like like a meter to like 3, 4, 5, 10 meters thick. Yeah, it was pretty thick concrete, and he shot right the way through it. And the students are like, what was that? Just all like that just flew by. And then he crashes into pretty much a tree. Well, a couple of trees later, he comes back. He's pretty much like, shoots back after a minute. Literally, he was in flight for a minute. He runs back. He's like, oh, that was one big explosion. And then they're like, well, like, who are, like, what's the situation? And like, the Cementor's just pretty much passed out from just working his quirk to its absolute limit to try and keep the stadium as intact as possible. And, well, of course, always, like, there could be injured, that as, like, recovery girl comes, well, whether she pretty much, well, no, she'd be with the other staff, so they would, with them, recovery girl would come in then with all night, and he would see, dang it, I'm thinking of Naruto characters now. Why? Wrong, like, completely wrong wife. And yeah. But yeah, like, they just see the half god person, just there, breathing heavily. And, they just don't see Deku. And all that's just like, where's Deku? I can hear it just looks up, just says, look up, all right, just look up. It's like, don't see him. He's like, oh, right, you're human. It's like, huh? So are you? Like, well, I've got dragon quirk, so I can see him. He's pretty high up. I think as he broke 6 times the speed of sound to escape the explosion also accelerated him upwards, probably to Mark 10 at least. So he was definitely going hypersonic. Like maybe Mark 11 or 12. So he's saying it added, another 6 times. It's like, yeah, well, to be honest, he got shot right the way through the concrete wall. So, yeah, and then I'm guessing he was in flight for another minute, because otherwise he would have come back pretty much immediately. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, he's all the way up in there. He's probably near enough in space. He's probably, quite close to the edge of the atmosphere. He's probably just forgotten where he is now and just, marvelling at the, curvature of the Earth. And all of a sudden you just hear a massive bang. They turn around and it's just Deku and it's like, no, I wasn't marvelling at the curvature of the Earth. I got shot up, and in time I realised where I was falling back down. So I was like, oh, I better transform. So, so you bet you throw that in your human form. Like, well, I transformed a good majority of my body. I just didn't manage to manifest my wings. So, the time I manifested them while I was already falling down, so I just slowed my flight. Slowed my way up that. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure I would have shot into space. Just dumbfounded at that, and yeah. And it's like, well, okay. It's like, yeah, I did just fall, I did just practically fall from the edge of space all the way down back to Earth. It's like, well, he's like, don't worry, I'm fine. I only fell pretty much from 100 feet. So yeah, that's pretty much what that explosion was. I slowed down, and then I realised I was roughly around 100 feet above the ground, so I just went fall to make an entrance. So anyway, it's not over, or has he given up? And yeah, as he shouts over, I'm gonna be right back. I gave up trying to remember his name, so I searched his name up instead. Saito Todoroki. I tend to call him Todoroki because I don't know. I just feel like his first name should be Todoroki. I don't know. It's just how I remember his name. Anyway, yeah. Pretty much, he would shout over to Todoroki, Saito, do you give up, or do you want to continue this fight? I've forgotten it. I don't even remember her name. I've forgotten. Midnight. And Midnight comes and goes, well, Deku, I think that's enough. You can hardly handle yourself as Endeavor's like, come on, Saito, you're the perfect part. You know, you're a perfect child. You shouldn't give up with this kind of fight. She pretty much gets up. Well, he gets out of the wall. As Midnight's just like, you know, she realizes who created the hole. You know, she pretty much crawled through. I just was like, that hole was me. And the bigger crater was the Dragon Hero, and the one Endeavor came out of was Endeavor's crater. It's like, jeez. It's like, who created the explosion? Saito did. He pretty much rapidly cooled the air with the giant eyes, and then rapidly heated it up, which caused the explosion strong enough to. And for some odd reason, I decided to get close, which just meant I got faster. So yeah. Anyway, then also Recovery Girl comes in and just like, young man, I think this is over. As Saito's just like, no, not over yet. And Danny's just like, yeah, I would say you're done for unless you want to die, unless you've got a death wish. So why are you talking like that? He's like, I haven't attacked you yet. I've just dodged you all this time and just played offensively, attacking your attack, so I don't get hurt. Well, I'm not hurt, but so I don't get trapped or that. And it looks like that last attack took everything out of you. And so yes, I would suggest giving it up. You fought well. And he's like, no, this ain't the end. As he's, going to be pretty prideful. Or he's going to have a lot of pride right now, thinking, he's the best. And that, and yeah, concerning the explosion he just did, he doesn't think anyone else can top it. Well, Bakugo can't, or at least right now he can't, and Deku, well, he can if he falls from space. There's not going to be even the concrete left. Yeah, there would just be a sudden boom, and that's it. Yeah. Or he can use plasma blast and incinerate everything in 100 miles at least. So yeah, the score would be, half the score would be gone. Yeah, so the front face would be fine, like the front half would be fine, but the back half would just be non-existent. So yeah. And pretty much Deku's just like, oh well, you're not going to give up without a fight, so here, as he's pretty much, what he seems like teleports over, because he can move pretty quickly even without being in his dragon form, and he pretty much he just knocks him out and hands him over to Recovery Girl. As Recovery goes, someone to check on you. He's like, I'm fine. It's like, yeah, but you said you fell from space. You said, like, people say, it's like, well, no, I only fell from 100 feet. It's like, yeah, but that's still high. It's like, no, not really. Not from the actual altitude I actually gained, which was around the edge of space. Well, not the edge of space, but the edge of the atmosphere. Or about the edge of the common line. and then I started falling back and I slowed myself down, and then when I stopped I was at 100 feet. So I decided to go, oh well, let's just drop and make it dramatic. Yeah, but that's got to put somewhere on you. Is that I'm used to it. You get used to crash landing and that. Anyway, that's pretty much what, I practiced in that, because I knew what happens if I was tired, I got hurt, and that, and I was flying at Mach 6, so I was practicing crash landing and that, more so in the ocean, to have at least a little bit of comfort, but I've been practicing on land too, so yeah, you don't need to worry. And if I did get hurt, you'd have to rush me to a hospital, like immediately. So yeah. Anyway. Pretty much as midnight goes, midnight will call the match like, Deku's the winner. And like the ring, it's kind of there. It's parts of it are there. That's what I could say, is like just parts of it are there. And they're like, oh, I think we're gonna have to wait until tomorrow to continue this. As all my agrees, and Principal Nezu comes and he's like, oh my, that's what that explosion was like. Oh, Principal Nezu. Dak is just like, mouse? What? No. Principal, he's the principal. Yeah. And it's just like, he's like, you're strong. Dak is like, the explosion wasn't me. It was all Todoroki, Saito's doing. It's like, yeah, but to handle, pretty much going at least Mark, 12, maybe Mark 20. Going all the way to the edge of the common line and then pretty much falling all the way back down. It does take a lot of effort. But yeah, and to just brush that off like it's nothing is pretty surprising. It's like, not really. It's like my plasma. If I use my plasma blast, even at like one, say 15th of its strength, it would melt half the skull immediately. I mean, that is like, the front half would be fine and the back half would just be melted away. It's just like, oh my, I'm glad you did. And it's like, yeah, that's if the explosion hasn't destroyed it already. It's like, no, the building definitely felt it, and I would say, a couple of windows have shattered, but besides from that, it's fine. And I see no one's got hurt. So also, let's go crazy. It's like, yeah. And also, Recovery Girl also takes Sindava because he's also gonna be hurt. The Dragon Hero, she's pretty much fine because she transformed at least the back half of her that got flung into the wall. She managed to transform the back half of her before she hit the wall, so yeah. So she pretty much transformed like nanometer. She fully what I mean by fully transformed, like not into her true form yet. That she hasn't realised. But yeah, she pretty much like nanometers away from the wall would fully transform and just whack. So yeah, she's like, the only thing she's got is this all back. But yeah, right, Endeavour's gonna have a couple of broken, broken ribs, couple of stuff that have broken and that need attending to. So yeah, he's off with Recovery Girl to get healed. And yeah, and he's just amazed like Deku tanked that and that was nothing to him. And then he thinks like, how strong is how strong is what temperature can he withstand? And, well, yeah, I'm pretty sure dragon scales are like, well, I don't know. Well, more so not sure, but what is the max temperature of a dragon scale? Would it just be, like, it's pretty much, like, unable to be cut through? But, well, not cut through, but, like, just heat alone wouldn't do nothing. Like, no matter the temperature. It's not more so his skin, I don't know. Well, considering they're, able to bath in lava. So, yeah. And pretty much his dragon hair is just like, jeez, Deku, you pretty when, you went overboard out of idea. Not only you made him realise, that his fire side, or his fire quirk, his other half of his quirk, his fire side, was him. Like, it's his true, it's his quirk and not his. That's what I said to him. And it woke up this beast inside of him, it seems like. It's like, yeah, that destroyed the entire stadium. It's like, well, we've got Cementos to rebuild it. At least it's like, no, he's not. And as Midnight goes, no, he's knocked out. Or passed out, I don't know. He just like 1 minute, well, yeah, pretty much 1 second he's awake, the next second he's on the floor, just straight up on the floor. No response from him. So yeah, I hope he can get up by tomorrow. Because if not, well, we're gonna have to somehow repair the ring another way. So yeah, I guess I did go a bit. Oh, I didn't really do anything though. So I'll take half the blame for encouraging Saito to use his true power. And it's like, yeah, but don't forget, if I use my true power, nothing could be here pretty much. And she's like, yeah, true that. True, you are quite dangerous. You are quite strong at your full strength. But then again, I don't even know full strength. I only know, the strength that you, like we train at. True, I guess so. Yeah. As Deku still hasn't realised he can transform invisible yet. Or the blue lighting, not the blue lighting, the blight effect that Toothless gained in How to Train Dragon 2 around the end of it. He hasn't awakened that yet either. So yeah. As he's like, oh well, what do we do now? As everyone out, as pretty much Midnight would, call out, would go, Deku, Deku, can you get me, up on the ledge of the concrete so I can, shout out to everyone that who's the winner is. It's like, okay. As he pretty much just he's able to, transform parts of his body into a dragon, so he pretty much brings his wings, which he hasn't got great control over. Pretty much what he can do is go right next to a wall and use his arm to guide him upwards, as his wings just create lift. So yeah, he hasn't yet managed to do roll or that, or he hasn't really truly figured out his tail. That because he's a Night Fury, he requires a tail to also go up, and not just like other dragons that only need just their 2 main wings. He needs his complete tail as well. But well, as in his human form, it'd be a lot smaller. But yeah, he hasn't realised that yet. So he takes off. He goes up and he puts her down. And as Midnight shouts out that Deku is the winner. They're like, she can come in, but there is nothing to see except for 3 craters in the concrete wall. Well, 2 craters and one going right way through, which would be the entry point, which All Might made for us as when he shot out. like a wrecking ball. But yeah. Yeah. And, you know, the, like, next day who comes and goes, well, no, they would then, you know, go around enjoying the other activities, the other classes and that aren't really happy because, you know, it was meant to be like a back-to-back type thing. Whereas it took only, you know, a couple of days to go through, like, you know, class 1A, well, all the first years, then all the second years and third years. So, yeah, mind you, the second and third years are just amazed by, you know, their power, and, like, you know, they also think, like, Deku kid, he's strong, just to be able to, you know, just go, yeah, that was nothing. No, that's insane. It's like, yeah. But then, you know, they'd say, oh, yeah, and I guess that's kind of, you know, what to expect from, you know, when the dragon hero, you know, is personally training him. That's what, you know, they all think, but they're, like, right now, are just friends. With at least, well, Deku doesn't exactly know what he's feeling at the moment, whereas it would be the same with the Dragon Hero, but she does show at least more concern over Deku, and you will start to see that but in the upcoming parts. So yeah, look forward to it. Anyway, pretty much it would just be with her, like, you know, it'd just be Deku and her, you know, walking around with, as Uraka would get more jealous. She'd get jealous, but then she'd also be thinking, why she's jealous, you know, why is she feeling this way? She'd be conflicted on how she feels for, you know, for Deku and that. So yeah. And no, I'm not gonna give Deku a harem no matter what you say, or Deku's not having a harem. And he would also think that it's, you know, if he wants if he would like a family, the only family he could really have with is probably the Dragon Hero, or find someone else with a Dragon type quirk, but knowing those two are the only officially registered people in the world with Dragon type quirks or transformation quirks. Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah. You know, he'd pretty much have to, well, not have to, well, he could live with a human, but he knows his lifespan compared to theirs, like, his lifespan's gonna be insane, whereas the human, you know, his wife or that human wife, if he goes with a human, would die, you know, for him, which could, you know, to him would be, you know, a day, and to them would be, you know, a good couple of years. So yeah, or maybe even an hour, like, you know, minute, second to dragons. I don't know. I'd put it into time, I guess microseconds, nanoseconds maybe? Yeah, it'd just be like for Deku a nanosecond, and, well, for a dragon, you know, it'd be a nanosecond. For a human, it'd be, you know, good, you know, best time of their lives type deal. So yeah. So yeah, like, yeah. Mind you, Deku's, you know, Dragon form is also getting stronger as Deku ages. So yeah. And don't really know what I was saying, but yeah, you know, she'd hang around with Deku, and she'd and all right, you know, follow them and, you know, speak to them. Well, not in public area, you know, would ask those two, like, you know, can I see you, you know, after this festival is over, you know, both of yous. As they'd go, alright, you know, okay, sure. As, you know, they go off, they have fun, and then after that, after the festival appearance ends, Deku and the Dragon Hero goes to see him. As All Might goes, as All Might says, well, I need to make it clear, what my quirk is. It's like your quirk, but as Deku pretty much starts ranting off, but nobody knows what your Deku is. It's the greatest, mystery in the world. Trying to figure out what your quirk is. It's like, yeah, I kind of guessed that. But there's a reason why I always try and avoid the question, because it's a secret. It's a sacred torch passed down from generation to generation. As they go, how do your quirks aren't possible? It's not possible to pass down the quirk, or is it it's maybe possible? You'd start rant off again as the husband was like, geez, stop with that. He's like, sorry. It's like, anyway, getting back on track. Anyway, as he would explain, one for all is, he would say, my quirk is one for all. It's been passed down for generations. I think, is All Might the 8th user and Deku's the 9th? I'm not sure. Or is Deku the 7th or 8th? I'm not pretty sure Deku's the 9th user of 1-4. Please tell me in the comments down below if I'm right or wrong. Not sure. But yeah. Anyway. So yeah, and he'd go, well, I came to, I pretty much came to UA, to look for a next successor. It's like, so you're asking me to become your successor? It's like, yes, I am. Of course, if also the your age, why, the dragon is like, why you ask why consent, it's like, well, you are the person that who trained the boy as well, so you may have other feelings about it. You may not think Deku needs any more power. Like that. Well, to retrospect, no, I don't think he does. But considering some other stuff, I don't know. It's down to it. It's up to him. No matter what it is, it's up to him. It's his life. He does what he wants. He trains. He yeah. As Deku is like, yeah, but surely there's someone more qualified. It's like, I don't think Deku. I'm pretty sure there is no one better qualified for you, because at least if you if you somehow shot to the edge of space and dropped, say, the strongest person on Earth and well, you'd probably be 5, maybe. Well, no, you'd pretty much be fine. And the person, the strongest person would probably more or less be a pulp, just vaporized. Well, he'd just be blood on the ground. And he's like, okay, I get that. And it's like, well, he'd think some more, and then he'd go, okay, I'll accept all the 4 and they'll become your successor, All Might. All Might pretty much plucks out a hair, or at least, well, yeah, you pluck out a hair and go, eat this. Well, something has to, congest my DNA, and well, doing this is the best way. Because it is the best way, because, yeah, don't want to go that too deep, but yeah, you can probably imagine other ways he could get it, like kissing and 18 plus stuff. Yeah, with the S and the X in it, and yeah, even though I don't think All Might would go that far. you probably wouldn't even kiss the person, but yeah. The other ways of doing it, you can imagine though. You've got imagination, so yeah. You can imagine that, but yeah. And that's isn't there another place like it's like, well, you just have to intake my DNA, and this is kind of the best solution. So he's like, yeah, well, yeah, I guess you're right, almighty. As you know, you take the strand of hair and you'd swallow it. As almighty, it could take, a couple of minutes, a couple of hours, a day to activate it, and yeah. And this is where I'm going to end it. So if you guys have enjoyed this part, if you have enjoyed it so much and you want to see more like this, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next part or video. Nope, that was incorrect. I'll see you guys in the next what if or video, depending on what I do, and hey, good. Bye!